You know, the dream that Jacob had was pointing to the ministry of Jesus. In the book of Genesis, Jacob had a dream and he saw a ladder. The head of the ladder went into the heavens and the foot of the ladder was on earth. Now that ladder that he saw was Jesus, because at that point in Jacob's life, he needed a transformation. He already had a bad record. He already had a bad testimony with his brother. So he needed an encounter desperately. So he saw the ladder which was pointing to Jesus. So it was Jesus that God was trying to reveal to Jacob, but there was no way God could pass that information apart from using that object. Because Jesus is actually the ladder of God. That was why in the New Testament, from the revelation received in the New Testament, we got to know that God actually stepped down to earth. And he stepped down to earth through Jesus. So that means Jesus is the ladder of God. So if God will come to your life, Jesus must first come into your life. If Jesus is not in your life, God cannot step down to your life. Are you there? When Jesus was being baptized by John the Baptist, a dove from heaven came and landed on him. What does it mean? That dove was also a proof that Jesus is the ladder of God. So because Jesus is now on earth, God can come, God can ascend and descend at any time. So Jesus is God's legality on earth. Jesus is God's legality on earth. Jesus is God's permission on earth. So if Jesus is in you, then you have given God the permission. That's how to give God the permission in your life. If Jesus is not in your life, then you have not yet granted God that permission to work with you. So the permission of God is Jesus. So when we say give your life to Christ, we are saying permit God to have access to your life. Because God cannot come into you except Jesus is there. And the presence of Jesus in you is already the presence of God in you. Are you getting what I'm saying? So Jacob's ladder was pointing to something in the New Testament. It appeared to Jacob as a thing, but actually that object is a person. God was trying to illustrate the function of Jesus right from the Old Testament.